Hello and welcome to another Everquest discussion, speculation, planning video that I thought I'd go ahead and just make. I got a lot of information in this document, and kind of want to go over it. I'll make it public on the intro video for this series when I actually start filming that, but it's still in progress. But I'm working on a back to the basics multiboxing series, starting from scratch is the plan with this thing. And this is my group composition that I'm looking at right now. I've thought about it over and over again, and I'm thinking this is pretty much what I want to do. I need a gnome. I need a wizard, and I want it to be a gnome because I have a name. This is the only character I have a name for at this point in time. I might have one for the cleric, but it's still in progress. But I'm thinking a shadow knight, a cleric, an enchanter, a wizard, a mage, and a shaman. And you'll see that I don't think I saw any of the Googling I've done. I've been researching all kinds of different group compositions that people have put out there, and I don't think I've seen this one exactly yet. And since I am forcing a wizard in my group for the sake of having a wizard, that kind of throws everything off. Like a mage would be would be better DPS probably for it, but we lose out on some of the roles that these characters can fill. But when multiboxing early on, I like having a cleric. I don't feel like a shaman can solo heal a group until 100 plus reliably. That's been my experience. Like the damage starts coming in really quick, and a lot of that could be under geared, but nothing can out heal a cleric. Nothing. So I'd like to have one. It's easier to set up the macros on the cleric to heal versus like all the shaman heal over times and stuff like that. So that's my reasoning behind having a cleric and a shaman. The shaman is there for Spirit of Wolf, right? For early on, AoE low, which is important. The slow kind of counteracts with the enchanter, but if you think about it, right, like I can't mez something and slow everything at the same time, and I can't heal and slow at the same time, right? Each character can only do one thing at once, so kind of trying to break that down, and hopefully that the shaman will be able to do enough DPS through dots and nukes, since he doesn't have to worry about healing and stuff like that, that the role won't be wasted. And I'm going with an enchanter because last time I did a multiboxing group, I had a bard, and whenever a bard misses a song, whenever the bard misses a note anyway, does the what are they called, boastful bellow, and there's another one I can't remember the name of it. Anytime they do that, it seems to break the in-game melody, and it's annoying, right? It's super insanely annoying, and I was always losing out. So I figure going with an enchanter, I'm going to be able to clarity everybody, right? Except maybe the Shadow Knight. So that's passive regen. Haste will be able to apply haste to pretty much just the Shadow Knight, so it's not that big a deal. But the ADPS from an enchanter should help out the wizard and the mage, and it should be a little bit easier to do than trying to worry about a bard. And bard's more of a melee group, and this is a pure caster group with a Shadow Knight tank. The wizard is pure DPS with ports, and the mage is going to be DPS and Call of Hero. I really value ports, Call of Hero, and stuff like that in my in my lower level groups when you're trying to get to places that are a little bit harder to get to, right? Like there's like sea invis mobs, you know, you got to dodge around those, and it's hard to get a whole group going through a whole path when you could just call a hero them all there. So that's my reasoning behind that. And that. So, and then I set up a role matrix, right? So like in all my slides that I do for the leveling guides, I have all these roles at the beginning, and kind of trying to check all the boxes, right? We got a tank, the Shadow Knight. We have the off tank if we need one. If the encounter is difficult, we can summon a Earth Elemental, and the mage can kind of take over that, and then we can just have the cleric heal the pet or heal the Shadow Knight. And then we have the healer, right? Is going to be the main the cleric. And what we get out of this, right? So the cleric brings buffs. I don't have a buffer thing, right? The cleric is going to be able to do the biggest HP buffs, which will stack with the all the shaman buffs. So we kind of got a synergy going on there. If we had a druid, we'd have to do symbol on the cleric, and we'd be missing out on focus and stuff like that. So kind of the reasoning there. We need a snare class. Kind of obvious from some of my monk Twitch streams where mobs are running everywhere because we can't snare them. So snare to me is a very important class. Kind of goes away towards the end of the game. You don't really need it as much, but I value it very much in the early game. And as we get through the rest, you'll see we're going to be in the lower game for a little while due to some of the things I want to do. Crowd control with an enchanter is so much easier than it is with a bard. I can set up X targets, so I can tell I can set up a key that's like, say it's 7, right? I hit 7. The enchanter is the only one who has something bound to 7, because we are going to be using Ice Boxer, and the enchanter can target X target, whatever, say 2, and then cast Mez on it using a in-game macro. And that is so much easier than the bard. I've tried doing the same thing with a bard, but something happens because I always have all these different things set up for the bard for doing stuff, and it just breaks all the melodies, and it's a nonsense. I don't enjoy it. I value Spirit of Wolf a lot, especially early game. I tried a full group of gnome only characters, and it was so frustrating, moving around so slow early game. Around 51 it kind of goes away because you get run speed 3 right off the bat with auto grant, and it's painful early on. So the shaman provides that buffing role right there. Slow, both enchanter and shaman can slow. The shaman has an AoE slow. I could not find one on the enchanter. They might have one, I don't know. But they have Tash. So debuffing's another role that I don't have on my list. The mage, the enchanter, and the shaman can all debuff resists quite well. The mage and the shaman kind of overlap in that, so I can alternate those. I can have the shaman slow, enchanter Tash, the mage Mallow all at the same time if I set them up correctly. So that's definitely something we're gonna be setting up, and the way I'm gonna do all this, we'll see soon. I'll go through that. Ports and evac, the wizard. To me personally, I value ports early on in the game. Once you get to 120, it's not as important, right? Because you're only going to specific zones. You're not going to all these different, low level zones. You're not doing all that stuff. You're pretty much going to whatever the current expansion is, probably doing missions and maybe grinding experience. So the port evac doesn't really matter as much. I find evac to be invaluable when doing dungeon crawls low level. So yeah, that's that. And then the cleric and the shaman both provide reses. The cleric can do battle reses. I believe, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they have a battle res AA. And shamans can do a call back to the corpse, but it's not a no experience res. We're gonna try to get there's a staff of forbidden rites you can get for the shaman. We might try to get that. Requires a raid, but so it's gonna be later on, probably towards the end of the series. But it's gonna be a little while before we can get that. But yeah, so that's, we have every role that I could think of covered in this group matrix. And DPS wise, at 120, my Shadow Knight can do 1,000,000 DPS on a burn. This is like for a burn on named, which is the only DPS honestly that really matters to me. My mage can do about the same, 1,000,000, give or take. The shaman, not as much. I'm assuming a wizard can do at least 1,000,000 DPS on a named and a burn, if not more. Cleric's not really any DPS. Enchanter probably a little about 500,000 maybe in a burn, give or take. But the Enchanter really provides the 80 DPS to the Wizard and the Mage and possibly the Shaman. Or I'm not sure how the synergy is going to work on that. And we could run into a situation where we just don't have enough DPS. But we should have the healing power to pretty much go through anything without having to worry about anything. So we have just about everything. We have 2 group curing classes. So we can, like I say, we're doing the, what is it, Shave and Taurus group mission. Say we get to that point and we need cures. We have 2 classes that can do that. So we can set that up fairly easy. So that should be good. So I think we have everything we need. We should have enough DPS to do anything in the game. So I'm gonna set some rules to this to this group. I still haven't picked a server. I'm leaning right now towards Bristlebane, where I have all my other characters, but Phronovi is an option that I'm also considering. So the rules are going to be no outside help, no power leveling, random buffs that we get are fine, right? If I go to POK and I just go run off on one character to go buy spells or something, and everybody gets group buffed by like whatever's in the black pile, I'm not going to go through and bother even clicking those off. It's just whatever happens there. But we're not going to accept any power leveling and no outside help. So I'm not going to bring my other characters in and kill things for them. We're going to do it self-found, so they can't equip anything that they don't loot from a corpse themselves. So now, I don't know if I should, I don't know what to say, if I should allow, if we stumble upon something dead and it has something on it, we should be able to loot it, I think. I think that's fair game. But no like buying stuff from the auction house and stuff like that to like power our way through. These are all going to be on gold accounts. I have like 24 gold accounts right now. I'm going to actually put these characters on my B team. So they're all going to start on gold accounts with pretty much nothing is what I plan on doing. I might move over like the mounts they would have gotten for buying the expansion, right? You buy the expansion, you get a mount. So I might give those to them. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to handle that, but kind of the thought process there. I'm going to start a new guild for them. They're going to have their own fellowship, completely separate. I'm also going to make their own trader. Right now I have like 18 traders, I think, and I have them all selling stuff from all these different characters. So they're going to have their own isolated thing going on, and try to do it that way. Doing it on a different server kind of eliminates some of that, but coming up here, I'll explain why I'm kind of leaning not towards that. See, I want to stay in level appropriate expansion zones, right? So if we're level 85, House of Thule is probably going to be where we're at, right? And I have a whole leveling thing down here that I'll go through, but POK, POT, Guild Hall, Guild Lobby, all acceptable places, right? Those are all nice places just to park park characters, right? It takes a while to log in 6 characters, so sometimes parking them is better than doing like logging them all the way out. And we'll buy a guild hall for them when they have the money. We'll set it all up kind of cool with vendors like I have my current one and all that. So I'm going to allow trade skill combines from Nomergard. Nomergard is my necromancer. He is almost max all trade skills, and I do not plan on leveling up trade skills on any other characters at all, unless it's like 100% necessary to do a quest that I want to do. Like I know some of the Epic 2.0s have minor trade skill requirements, and I'll do that, but I am not going to level to 350 trade skills on any other characters. It is just soul crushing in the current way that it's all set up. So I would allow that. So for the example I have is, say I'm in the Ring of Scale expansion, I get the materials to make flagrant armor. They can send those trade skill materials over, and I'll make what they need without having to worry about leveling up blacksmithing 300 or whatever other trade skills are required for that. Tailoring, trade, blacksmithing, I think pottery too. I don't know. So during the leveling, we're gonna put percentage of our experience to AA to slow things down, and I'll go through that. We're also not going to use Gribbles or TBM armor until it's level appropriate. This adds a little bit of a challenge. I'll go through all the gear. It took me a while to figure out the gearing path, but I think I have it down. So Gribbles is a level 100 expansion, and TBM is a 105 expansion. So that's, I think, the required level on the top tier armor for those expansions. So we can't do Gribbles until 100, and we can't do TBM until that. So that's going to be an interesting, interesting kind of thing. We'll go down there. Some of the milestones, I'm not completely done with this, but what we're going to do, first milestone I want to try at 52. I'm going to take the group in. We're going to see if we can get an open world Nagi or Vox and try to kill him. We're going to try make a few attempts. Because we might die the first time. We are mostly caster group, so it might be difficult to do. If we fail like 2 or 3 times, I'm gonna split the group into 2 groups as a raid and use mercenaries to kill this, just for the sake of doing it. But that's the plan. But we're going to at least attempt it. At 65 to 70, so I don't know, inside of this, I watched a video on somebody doing the AOC version of Nagafen, and they had like 50 characters, and they were all in the 50 to 60 range, and they were having a hard time killing it. So I don't know what is the difference between the AOC version and the open world version of Lady Vox and Lord Nagafen. But I'm thinking around 65 to 70, we can start up the AOC raids and go knock out all the dragons in Kunark and Lady Vox and Lady Nagafen. Get all those done. About 70 to 75, we're going to go to Lucklin and kill everything. We should be able to do all the raids and all of Velos raids. I think it's 70 to 75. Maybe we need 80 for Lucklin. I'm not 100% sure. We'll go try it and see. But we're going to try to do all these raids, to progress through them, right? We'll also probably pick up some armor that we can use along the way, but I'm not holding my breath. About 80 to 85, we're going to do Anguish and all the Epic 2.0s. Now, some of the weapons might not be an upgrade, right? I mean, it's a raid it's a level 70 raid. It should be doable at 80 to 85. I've seen that level 85s, when Googling, say they can do it, but we'll see. We'll try it. I know as a caster predominant group, we might have a hard time because I don't remember when I ran through it. I wasn't able to do much damage outside of melee. So that's gonna be interesting. We'll try it and see. We're gonna do the Meridite Proving Ground trials before we do Anguish. That'll give us the resist boost that we can get. At some point, we're gonna do the Dragons of Norath progression. We're gonna do all that. We're gonna do all the level 100 plus progressions. So each zone, we'll get to that in a second, but there's a lot of progressions like for the heroic vitality and stuff like that. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna go to every zone in the game, and just take a world tour kind of thing. All right, so leveling. In my monk stream, I was asked if I ever do any non quote unquote meta leveling. Meta leveling would be like the blue levels, the blue zones right here. So Unrest, Lower Gok, Old Sylvanas. That is kind of the fastest meta that I've found for leveling as a group, right? So my plan is going to be this blue, or not blue, the green, the green leveling. So I'm going to do the tutorial offline. I've done it many times. I'm going to do that, use that as the time to set up everybody, get all the, follows and macros for the baseline stuff set up so that they're a functional group. And then at level 10, that's when I'll do my intro video. Then we will start off going to Naija and just killing everything in there. I think we can do it at 10. It says 20 in all the zones I've seen, but that would mean it's the same as Soleil, and Soleil is pretty easy. So I think we're going to be fine with a group at Naija at 10. So we'll go there, get to 20, 25. I don't know. These are all flexible. Then we're going to go to Soul A. I don't think I've done Soul A in any video yet, except for, I think, one of the shamans I did. So we're going to go Soul A, Soul B. We might hit up some of these other zones just for the sake of hitting them up. We're going to spend a bunch of time in Chardok A and Chardok B. Get up to 60 in one of those zones. And then that gets us into that, that's like done with Kunark. We'll be done with, we could go one of these Lucklin or Velos zones, but it's just iffy. We might do some of the daily tasks to get some armor upgrades in between all of this, so it's all iffy. I know Veclors is a daily zone, and the Deep is a daily zone. Vexar is a daily zone. Innovation's a daily zone, so it just depends on what we get, we might hit up Mistmore to make some money. I don't know how this is going to go. Let's see here. And then when we hit 60, we're going to go to either Halls of Honor or Plains of Fire, depending on, what it is. We can go with Plane of Fire at 60, and it's probably the best experience all the way to 70. We'll see. Then we're going to hit up some Gates of Discord zones. I didn't write any of the names here because they're all like 4-letter zone names that are just like, I think they just hit the keyboard randomly. So we're going to do some progression through there. I don't think I'm going to do the quests or anything like that. We're just going to do what we need, just to go check out the zones and check them out, see how good they are for experience. Having the wizard lets us teleport to Wall of Slaughter and stuff like that, so we're going to save a lot of time traveling, so that'll be good. Then Omens of War zones, we're going to go to Wall of Slaughter, check it out there. We're going to have to grind faction in the Omens of War for a little bit, so probably around this time, we're going to max out the faction required to get the Omens of War armor. That is going to be the breastplates anyway, so we're going to get the robes and the chest plates for all the classes and do all those quests. And we'll do all those, they're trying to do it in the level range, right? If it starts to get light blue, we'll lock our experience or something like that. But, we're going to try it. And then the next expansion is Depths of Dark Harlow. We're going to try to just go through there, check out some of these. I don't think I've ever been to Dreadspire Keep, so we'll go check that out. There's a few other zones in this expansion. And there is a rare water elemental illusion mask you can pick up in this expansion. So maybe try to get one of those or two. And then Prophecy of Row. I've never been to Theater of Blood, so might try that out. Arkstone's a real nice level. There's a one-hander Shadow Knight weapon that drops there that I want to pick up. I picked it up on my first playthrough. I want to pick it up again. It's really nice. And then Serpent Spine, Valdeholm is a good zone, and Direwind Cliffs. We might hit those up. I think we can teleport directly to Direwind. We might try that and go do the crawl up the little windy path up to the gatekeepers. Try that out. And then around there, we should be about 75, 80. We're going to go to Dragonscale Hills and kind of go through the Secrets of Fadar expansion. And when we get into the gearing, you'll kind of see why we're going to spend more time there. And then after that, we go into the Void, Seeds of Destruction zone, and we're going to head off the Ocean Green Hills and just kind of do that progression. And then we might hit up Underfoot once we have the gearish power to go into there. So we'll cap, if we hit 85, we'll kind of cap there and stay in these zones until, you know, we're ready for the next one, right? So then we go into House of Thule, and we're just going to progress through all these different expansions and trying to keep our leveling within these as kind of like my plan to go here. I'm still working on a list of all the quests and stuff that I want to do in these expansions. I know there's a tier of Valeris that gives I think it's a defense boost, AUG. So we're going to try to pick that up. And when we hit, 90, we'll level 90, 95 there. And then Reign of Fear. And then once we hit 100 and Call of Forsaken, this is when they started adding heroic vitality and heroes fortitude, I believe. AAs for doing quests. So that's when we're going to start doing progression. This is just going to be pretty much leveling, doing some quests. And then once we get here, we're going to do all of the progression before we move to the next one and just work our way through it. I think it'll be fun. If we can't do something, we'll have to just save it and come back later. And we're going to do that all the way through the end of the game, all the way to Lucklin. We're just going to do all the partisans, all the mercenaries, all the whatever we need to do to get through there. I don't know about doing hunter and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll just see how that works out. But once we get to the Call of Forsaken, then we can go do some Gribble quests and stuff like that, and pad out our armor with any missing slots. And then once we get to the Broken Mirror, we'll go do that. We'll do some of that. We'll try to do all of the Broken Mirror. I want to try to break the level 100, 105 Plane of Fear and Plane of Hate that we got pretty much smoked in on Gnome Regard when we ran in there. So I don't know if that episode's aired yet, but yeah, that'll be interesting to see how a group can handle it. And then we'll work our way into Empires of Kunark, Ring of Scale, Burning Lands. We're going to try to complete as much of the group content as we can. I think at a certain point we're not going to be able to do the raids anymore. I don't know what the lowest level raid is that we can do, but we're going to try what we can try and do what we can do. Quests, don't really have those. We're going to do all the epics for all of this group for sure. Some platinum farming spots I've been taking down as a note. And then gear. Here we go. This is probably I've spent I don't know how long just researching all the different options, right? So 1 to 75 is going to be Defiant. Whatever we find, it's the best. It's the best we can get, 1 to 75. At 75, Warped Steel will start to drop from names in Secrets of Fadar. And that is it's not really an upgrade, right, to Defiant. It's got a little bit more armor, but it's not. The upgrade comes in the second part of this, is when there's like an infusion you do with it from another item that drops. And I think it's vendor buyable now. So that's our second upgrade path right there. And once we have, at least the tank geared up in this armor, the Necrotic Steel, this is all reference based on the Shadow Knight breastplate for these numbers here. We're going to try to get the Underfoot armor, which is a double upgrade, right? Like, It's like double the hit points. The next is a minor upgrade to the House of Thule, and then each of these tiers, right? I have tier 1 written on all these next to these. Most of these have like 3 or 4 tiers of group armor that upgrades, and they overlap with the next set here. So if we can get, you know, Val Valaris tier 3, it's probably better than the Reign of Fear tier 1. So we're gonna go through each expansion, picking up all the armor, kind of getting all that set up. We're going to be in the level 100, this green one here, for quite a while, I guess, to get started. And so that's why I highlighted that one. This armor I've seen drop from the heroic missions and stuff like that. So that's kind of, there's going to be some farming going on. And something, one of the issues I guess I ran into in my last multiboxing group was I was getting completely destroyed. Because I had TBM armor, right? I didn't upgrade past this until Snowbound. So I was doing everything from every expansion up until Torment of Velos using the TBM armor, and it was painful. I had no augs, like, other than the TBM augs that you have to buy to make the armor good, but I had nothing. So I was getting like completely smashed. It was very frustrating. And then I realized that there is all these different tiers that I completely missed, that somehow I just didn't know about, because I didn't play through any of those expansions at that time. So now I know that we can upgrade here to Empires of Kunark tier 1. Then we can go to the Ring of Scale, and then if we can get the Conflagrant crafting pieces, we can send that crap to Nomagard, and he can make it, and it's pretty good armor till 110. But I also found out I can go to the Burning Lands and get even better armor. You know, and then when we, you know, probably have, you know, because we're gonna have to go through the Burning Lands before we get to Torment of Velos, so we're gonna have, you know, a pretty interesting time, as I'll just say that, getting through all of this stuff. And then like if you go from like the best Defiant, I think it's Elegant Defiant, to the Waxing Crescent, it's like a 23% increase in hit points, right? Like 396 times 23 is like 9100. So it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how much is just compressed in here. So there's a lot of stuff to farm. You know, we're gonna have 6 characters. We're gonna have to gear them out. That was another thing I didn't do in the last group. I was rushing to the end of leveling and not enjoying myself along the way, and I missed out on gearing up a lot of this stuff. Like, I ended up not needing to, because I was able to get the Snowbound stuff for like every character. But that, you know, that stuff's still 20k a piece, give or take. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff in here that I just didn't know at the time, and so this is kind of a mini guide on gearing. And this is going to be the path, and this just goes into some macros I found that I was going to use. But yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts on what I'm going to make. You know, the next series on, and you know, it seems I've gotten a lot of requests for starting it back up, or when am I going to make another episode, and I think this is going to be the best way forward for that. Any thoughts on my group composition, please comment and let me know what you think. If I'm missing something obvious that I need to add or change, I feel comfortable with 2 healers, and the wizard is just something I need for the epic 2.0 video. So, you know, it's just kind of something I gotta make anyway. But yeah, so that's that. If there's any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day.